Working on a small project. In our line of work, clients tend to undersell their project. I'm sure you've heard at some point that it's just a small project, it'll only take you an hour or so, can you please do it for some peanuts and a glass of water? You have to acknowledge the fact that this is an inevitable part of your field. Clients aren't necessarily doing it on purpose, though I have seen cases. Rather, they don't have enough experience to methodically analyse each aspect that's put into a project. That's to be expected. You can't trust their assessment because it isn't based on any serious experience. It's up to you to have a clear stance on these so-called small projects and not act like a goldfish that forgets every few projects that clients might not give accurate descriptions. You have to dig for information to actually know if it truly is a small project or if it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. For example, on 99 Designs, there's no real difference in your workload between a $200 landing page and a $475 home page. Actually, there's no difference between the 4751 pager and the $600 one. When you break it down, it's the same amount of work and stress, and that's because you need to go through the exact same steps. You have to carefully read the brief, get your inspiration, create an initial design, get at least 2 or 3 rounds of revision work, and so on. There's almost no difference between a landing page and a home page. Let me mention what a landing page is, just in case some of you don't know it. A landing page is usually an addition to the regular website that has one purpose: to obtain users' information. This is usually done through a prominent form that sits in the hero area, usually to the side. Landing pages are great when you set up a paid campaign of any sort and you want to get the most out of it. Everything on that page should be directed towards converting the visitor into a lead, into a prospect, and to do that, you have to cut out everything else on the page. Only the main feature points should be present on that page. So going on this, clients or platforms like 99 Designs assume it's less work because it's less elements, right? On the contrary, it's at least the same amount of work, and I won't go into further details because I think it's pretty obvious. Going back to those mini projects, in general you should watch out for some special key features the client might ask for. For example, a hero area illustration. He may describe it as a simple city skyline with a smiling person on a telephone, but that means at least a few hours of initial work, then probably another concept, then another revision, then another one. It's these type of details that might be unforeseen when you initially take on the project. It's the same thing with custom graphics. Don't be surprised to see a big project come to a halt because of one image that doesn't fit the client's ideas. These can be an incredible pain, so make sure you're bulletproof against these possible issues. An initial discussion is key, but then ask for everything to be written down. Contracts are a good way of locking things in place, but a mere email is usually enough. The problem deepens when you have clients approach you that don't know you only create the design in Photoshop. I've heard about cases where the client was astonished when he received the PSD file. He was obviously expecting something else. This is 100% the designer's fault because he failed to mention these details. It's not all right to assume anything in this field. Every single detail must be discussed beforehand so you don't find yourself in awkward situations. Lastly, you should know that real small projects like a quick homepage may bring you lots more work in the future. So please don't think I'm completely against small projects. On the contrary, I think they have a big role in setting up your portfolio, getting your name out there, creating a network of clients. But that's not to say you should undersell your work or be taken for granted by a client. Make sure you're getting the price you deserve for your work before you start a project. Demanding for extra money in the middle of the design is one of the worst things you can do. So if you don't assess the project correctly, you may be stuck in an awful position. Plus, there's another side of the coin here. Some people simply refuse to take on small projects. Some designers work on projects starting from $2,000 to $3,000. Some start at $5,000 or even $10,000. The idea isn't so outrageous if you ask me. Instead of being split into several projects, constantly multitasking and arranging your schedule to fit several clients, you take a breather and focus 100% on one big important project. Obviously, it's extremely hard to ask $10,000 for a website design, especially in the beginning. But if you have the experience, a great portfolio, and a bit of good marketing, it can be done. Everything is based on your skill level, so that's the first thing you need to worry about. So to sum it up, watch out for projects that are described as small and quick when they're actually very tedious and labour-intensive. Always double-check the requirements before setting a quote.